Before we go any further into this section or the next section or anything that comes between them, there is one rule that you need to understand and internalize before you start dealing with women. Now, I'm somebody who is generally averse to putting out these all-encompassing rules about dealing with women or really dealing with people in general because women are fluid. Women are people. They're all different. Every woman has a different personality, a different upbringing, a different set of traits, and different intentions accordingly. So, what you need to understand is that this rule is not necessarily a rule for dealing with all women. It's a rule for dealing with all people in all situations. Now, what magic rule could apply to every woman in every situation, even taking the differences in personality, intention, desires, so on and so forth into account? The rule is this, and I want you to literally commit this to memory. Be yourself. Be yourself. That is the number one rule that you need to apply when you are dealing with not just women, but everyone in your life. Be yourself. Otherwise, none of the advice that I give you from here on out, whether it's within the Attraction Blueprint or the YouTube Mastery Secrets or literally anywhere else, none of it is actually going to be effective. This is the secret sauce. So why is this so important? Why is it so important to be yourself, especially in the context of dating? Well, the answer is simple. Being yourself is a natural filtering mechanism. One of the biggest mistakes that most men make is they do everything in their power to be as attractive as they can be to as many women as possible. This is a fatal, catastrophic error. Why? It's catastrophic for the same reason that making YouTube videos that appeal to everyone is a catastrophic error as well. You see, I'm going to introduce you to a business principle known as target audience. What is target audience? Target audience is exactly what it sounds like. It's the audience that you are aiming to target with your content, with your products, with your services, with your messaging. That's who you are doing the thing that you're doing for. Your target audience. In order to appeal to your target audience, you are going to have to exclude other audiences, the non-target audiences. There may be adjacent audiences that you also appeal to some extent, but you have to be willing to exclude the audiences who don't share many or any character traits with your target audience. View dating in the exact same way. You need to view dating in the same exact way. If you are going to appeal to the women who would actually like you for you, naturally, what this means is that you are going to have to be willing to repel the women who don't like you for you. You're going to have to repel them. They're going to have to find you disgusting and repulsive. And that's difficult. A lot of men are not comfortable with the idea of women not just not being interested in them, but having a genuine disdain for them. But I submit to you that this is actually already the case. There are already women who don't just find you to be neutrally unattractive. No, they legitimately find you to be repulsive. You just maybe haven't met them yet, or maybe you have. And if you have, then maybe you have some emotional trauma associated with those kinds of women. So I understand your apprehension to actively taking this approach. But your target audience, in this case, the women who like you for you, will only like you to the extent that the women or the target audience that doesn't like you dislikes you. So, in other words, if you don't have people that hate you, you can't have people who love you. And what most men do is they hide their real selves. They hide their true selves to shield themselves from the hatred. but they're also shielding themselves from the love. Because ask yourself this: how can a woman love you if she never even gets the chance to really meet you? If she doesn't get a chance to see who you are? She can't. And here's the coldest part about that. Given a long enough time horizon, you're going to slip up. That mask is going to fall off and she's going to see the real you. And then you might find at that point in time that she was never a part of your target audience to begin with. She only liked you or loved you for who she thought that you were. And now that she sees the real you, not only is she repelled by who you really are, but she's repelled by the fact that you lied about who you really are. And you can't get that time back. So you need to be comfortable enough being alone with yourself to be who you are, project who you are to the world, and naturally filter out the people who don't resonate with the real you. And to take this one step further, I want you to think about target audience in terms of running paid advertisements, right? When you see ads on YouTube, if you don't have an ad blocker, or if you see ads on Facebook or Instagram or any social media platform, even Google ads, whenever you see ads, people paid for those ads. People paid for those ads. And when they pay for these ads, what they do, if they are good at marketing, is they pay money to reach a specific group of people. Generally, the more specific, the better. You don't want to go too specific, but you want to be specific enough to where you are reaching people who are likely to engage with your advertisement and by extension, your product. That way, you get the best return on your investment. Otherwise, you're going to spend all of this money to put your ad in front of people who don't want your product, who aren't likely to engage, and you're not going to get anything in return for it. Because basically, when you run paid ads, more often than not, you're paying for the impressions. You're paying for how many people are seeing your ads. So you want to make those views count. You want to make each impression count. Dating is the same way. The only difference is that you're not paying with your money, you're paying with your time. So you want to make sure that you are using your time efficiently, because unlike money, time is not a resource that you can replenish. Again, you can't get that time back from fucking with the woman who really wanted nothing to do with you in the first place. That's called false advertisement. And in business, that is a fatal flaw. That can put you out of business right there. In dating, the same is true. That is a relationship ender. And I believe that a big part of the reason why divorce rates are so high is because people pretend to be people that they're not. And then once they get married, since they feel secure and locked in, they let themselves go. And I don't just mean that maybe they stop hitting the gym and they start eating unhealthy, but I mean that they reveal who they actually are because now they feel safe. But they're not safe. They're not safe because they're with the wrong person, because they attracted the wrong audience by creating the wrong proverbial content, which in the context of dating is having the wrong kinds of conversations, putting yourself in the wrong kinds of places, the wrong kinds of spaces. And I'll talk more about putting yourself in the right position to find women in the next lecture. But it's important that you understand this conceptually, because if you aren't being yourself, you are setting yourself up for failure in the long run. Given a long enough time horizon, either she's going to find out or you're going to crash out, because you are going to be so fed up with putting on this facade in order to appease this one person in your life that you are eventually not going to be able to withstand the pressure that comes with that anymore. That's just human nature. You need to be yourself. You need to express who you are. Now, bearing that in mind, it's important that you understand who you are targeting. Who is your target audience? Of course, I can't tell you what your target audience is because I don't know enough about the intricacies of your personality to define that for you. Only you can define that for yourself. But what I can say with definitive certainty is that your target audience, from a conceptual standpoint, consists solely of the women who like you. The women who like you are your target audience. So in a business sense, when you are running these paid advertisements or you're creating content to attract a specific kind of audience, your job as a marketer is to make the salesperson's job as easy as possible. You see, the reason why I was able to sell you this coaching program is simply because I attracted the right kind of audience to begin with. You were somebody who could benefit from this coaching program. So when it came time to sell it to you, all I had to do was tell you the truth. That was my only job. I told you the truth about what was inside of the coaching program and what you could expect, what kind of transformation was waiting for you on the other side of that paywall. And I'm sure if you've been taking advantage of the resources at your disposal, not just the classroom, but the coaching calls, the community, you're active, you're engaging with other members, you have seen some degree of transformation in your life. You've seen some semblance of transformation in your life up to this point. You at least know something that you didn't know before you joined. And if that's not the case, then I would suggest that you leave. I would suggest that you literally click off of this video and cancel your membership, because you're probably not the right audience. You're not part of that target demographic. And that means I need to step my marketing game up. But I'm going to assume that the former case is true, that you are the right target audience, and that, again, as a salesperson, the only thing that I had to do was tell you the truth. In the same way, when it comes to dating, all you need to do is tell the truth. If you're just honest about who you are and what your intentions are, if you can just do that right there and that works for you, then you are with the right woman. It's literally that simple. It's very, very simple. The problem with this, the reason why most men struggle to apply this, is simply because they're impatient. They don't want to wait. They can't stomach the idea of watching their peers fall in love while they stay single. But ultimately, once again, you don't know the true nature of their relationships, because it could be the case that your friend is pretending to be somebody that they're not. Or maybe they're not doing that. Maybe they are being themselves and they found somebody who loves them for who they are, and you can take that as an example. You can use that to provide evidence to your subconscious mind that it is possible to find somebody who loves you for you, flaws and all. That's up to you to decide. But what I will say is that if you're not being yourself, if you're not being honest with not only yourself, but with her about who you are, the relationship, if you progress to that point to begin with, is going to fall apart, inevitably. It's going to fall apart, and you're going to be wondering what happened. And you'll come back and you'll watch this video and you'll know what happened. You'll say, I wasn't being honest. I wasn't being myself. I wasn't being authentic. Therefore, I attracted the wrong kind of woman. And once she found out who I really was, it's not even that she lost interest, it's that she realized she never had interest. Because she was in love with who she thought I was. Don't put yourself in that position. Don't put her in that position. Instead, be yourself. Accept that some women are going to find you literally disgusting and repulsive for being who you are, and that's okay, because the extent to which they find you repulsive is the same extent to which the women who are a part of your target audience are going to love you for who you are. And then from there, you keep narrowing down that target audience until you find that one person that you are meant to spend this life thing with. So that was just one out of 191 exclusive videos in my coaching program. If you want to unlock the rest of those videos and attend weekly coaching sessions with yours truly, then be sure to click the link in the description so that you can get your dream body, get your dream girlfriend, and make freedom your lifestyle.